Money mantra. Money mantra. Manage your mind. Manage your money. Peace and blessings, my people. First of all, I want to thank all of you that have been involved and have been sending me feedback about the podcast. I truly appreciate that. If you have not, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment or rating on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play, or anywhere else you listen to the podcast. It really means a lot to me. Also, if you're interested in being a guest or you would like to leave a comment to me directly, please email me at moneyandmantras@gmail.com, or you could also visit mantramoney.com. All right, my people, here we are on another episode of the Money Mantra. I am your host, Caesar Visuals Amudio, and today we got another guest that you will definitely enjoy hearing from. He is an award-winning recording artist, producer, filmmaker, DJ, and an actor also. And he's a friend of mine that I've known for a few years. This is Rip. How you feeling, Rip?
What up, man? I'm good, man. I'm feeling real good. You know, I'm feeling blessed, man. God is awesome, so... yeah, man.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about. So, Rip, man, tell us a little bit more about yourself, man. Anything that I didn't already cover.
Man, you pretty much covered it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know, recording artist, producer, DJ, filmmaker. You know, all of that. It all goes back to the late '90s when I first started this journey, man. It all started with a love for music, and it kind of evolved into this. Everything that it is now, you know what I'm saying? So I believe I'm where God wants me to be right now, and man, I'm just blessed, man. I mean, things are good, man.
I love that. So, Rip, man, let's get right into this first question, man. Tell me, what is your money mantra?
My money mantra is God first. Man, I fully, truly believe you put God first. You know, everything else will fall into place. You know what I mean? I'm a firm, you know, I'm a believer in Christ. Me personally, those are my beliefs. Mm-hmm. So, you know, especially in the more recent years of my life, I've been trying to live a more Christ-like life and try to follow His teachings more. You know, versus where I was a young kid, I was running around. I was just kind of more about, you know what I'm saying, doing dumb stuff but I'm at a place in life where I firmly believe. You keep God first, you put God first, everything will fall into place. You know, you trust Him, you put your faith in Him, His will for your life will unfold. And it's just really all about putting, you know, that trust and faith in God, and you know, the abundance will it'll really be poured on you, man. I figured out in life that it's not really about what you want in life, you know, because when I was younger, man, I had this certain vision of what my life would be like when I'm 30, you know what I'm saying? I'm 35 now, and my life is completely different than what I thought it would be, but at the same time, I'm truly blessed, you know what I'm saying? And I have a lot of, I have a lot of the blessings that I always wanted when I was growing up, just in different forms or different fashions, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still reaping a lot of those dreams that I had when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Just according to God's will for my life, not my own, you know what I mean?
I dig that. You know, I think spirituality is a major key in reaching happiness, man. Regardless of what path you choose to reach that spirituality, I think that's a great thing, man. And I'm happy to hear that, man. I'm happy to hear that. I've definitely seen, you know, from the time that I've known you, man, like back in the 90s, I think we started talking like early 2000s. You know, we've done some music together and things of that sort. And man, I've seen the progression, man, and I've seen the growth, and man, I think it's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear you got these blessings coming.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yes, sir. So, Rip, you know, we got to talk about money, man. This is the money mantra. So please, man, list your different streams of revenue and tell us how you earn them.
So right now, my different streams of revenue are, like I said, I built a lot of talents over the years, you know, from my passion for music starting in the 90s, which leads me to a place right now where I'm fully, you know, self-employed. And so my revenue comes in from all these different avenues of talents that I've acquired and polished over the years that relate to my music career. So I'm I'm a working DJ. I DJ 3 to 4 nights a week. I'm a videographer and filmmaker, and I also am an artist. Obviously, I haven't put out a project in a few years. Actually, I'm working on a new album now, but I'm also a recording artist, and I do other side things, like graphics and stuff as well. So my main thing, though, my bread and butter is DJing 4 nights a week, and the video business. And that's pretty much what I'm doing right now to keep myself afloat. I love not working for the man. I love working for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And it's just a blessing, man, that I was able to take my love and passion for music and be able to self-sustain myself at this point in my life.
So, Rip, man, tell me a little bit more, like, as far as the music goes, man. Could you tell us a little bit, like, about residuals or any licensing and things like that you might have as far as income streams come?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't. Man, my last album I put out was in 2012, and that's going on half a decade ago, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't, honestly, the last few years, man, it's kind of tapered off a little bit. And I've also kind of changed the direction of my music, too. So I've been kind of trying to get away from my past music because, like I said in the beginning, I'm at a different stage in my life now. And the new direction I'm taking with my music is more faith-based.
Yes.
And it's not that I'm trying to get away from my past, but at the same time, like, if I got to move forward in this new direction, I can't be, dipping my hand in what I was doing in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I'm ashamed of it. It's not that it's not part of who I am. It's just I feel like that kind of music is not part of who I am anymore, and I'm trying to go down this new path, and it's kind of almost like starting fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, the only thing that's the same about me is the name Rip. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So man, it's kind of like starting over, but things are good though, because I just released a new music video on the 1st of January called New Me, and it's honestly I've been recording music for about 20 years now, man, and it's probably it's got the most organic steam behind it than any song or video I've ever put out. So I'm thinking this is a time where it's really time to put money and muscle behind it, because like I said, this is the most it was my first attempt diving into kind of like I don't want to say Christian hip hop, or gospel music, but it's in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, man, it's really taking on a new direction, and it's something really different from what I used to do in the past. A lot of people know me from the past and all the stuff I did back home in the Chicagoland area, Illinois, and all that stuff. Like, it's really different from what I was and who I was, man, even like 5 years ago or a couple years ago, man. So.
Yeah, but you know what I see personally, man. I've definitely seen over the last few years, man, that you've definitely put out, I would say more of a conscious type of music. You've definitely been focused more on the messages and certain types of movements, things that I feel you probably thought were issues or problems in society, and you've definitely pointed them out, man. So definitely salute on that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, man, I think that's an age thing, man. I think that comes with age, man. Like, that's just the way it is. If you're not growing in life, you're dying, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're not maturing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're stagnant, man. You're complacent. And if you're doing the same thing that you were doing 20 years ago or 10 years ago, like, I mean, I don't know how someone could expect to progress or grow in life, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's just the evolution of life, man. That's the way things are, man. And I mean, I hope people would I hope people would be on the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, using an opportunity to learn and grow in life, because, man, my mind frame, I'm telling you, fam, the things that I've been through the last couple of years, my mind frame and where I'm at now versus where I was even 5 years ago, man, it's like a complete different person, you know what I'm saying? It's like I want to look back and shake that kid and be like, what are you thinking, but, man, it's all a part of life, man. That's life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hear you, man. And I'm glad that you bring up a couple years ago and struggling and things of that sort, man. Because I know earlier you mentioned that you love working for yourself, man, not working for the man. But I know the situation wasn't always like that. So right now, man, if you could please get into detail about a moment in your life during your worst financial time, man, really walk us through that so we could get to know your mind state and the type of things you were going through.
Right. I grew up poor, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with a single mom raising 4 boys in Waukegan, Illinois. I don't know if people know, it was a huge Hispanic community. So I was a minority. We we didn't have a lot of money. So I kind of grew up in that whole, just that whole, poor mentality kind of in a way. And, the church helping us out and everything. But I told myself I'm going to change that. In fact, that's kind of why I got into music, you know what I mean? Because, they were glorifying that on TV. It's like, man, I had a passion and love for music, and I could become rich, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I always thought my whole life growing up, money would be the answer to everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I could just make tons of money, man, this would solve all my problems. I wouldn't have no problems whatsoever. Obviously, I grew up and I figured out that wasn't the case, but so I kind of grew up my life like that. But really, I would say in 2003, I was 21 years old, and it was just kind of a rough time because, like, within that whole 9-month period, I remember my girlfriend at the time, my dad had a major stroke at the time. My girlfriend I was with, she ended up, and I said this on one of my songs, she ended up having an abortion. It was just a really rough time for me. My grandma died, and then my girlfriend left, and then because of my dad with a stroke in this whole situation, like, we lost the house. And I was just kind of I was a host at Bennigan's. I got a job right after all that stuff happened. Like, I was a host at Bennigan's, and I was just kind of like, that was a time in my life when I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. I'm young. I'm 21, 22 years old, and it was just hard, man, because I was a host at Bennigan's, hosting tables. I wasn't making that much money, and I'm like, man, something's got to give. And then that came to an end, and I remember there was a time where I started carrying records for a DJ, man, for like $20 a night too, and I'm just like, there was something in me that, I tried the whole work thing, I tried going to the office job, you know what I'm saying, doing data entry and all this stuff, and I was just miserable, man, like, I was just miserable, and that's when something kicks, and kicked me in the ass, can I swear on here?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, that's when something kind of like give me a little swift kick in the ass, and like, man, I gotta do something, I cannot live my life like this. And it was just that pain and growing up, man, growing up the way I did, my whole thing was, I think I made a lot of decisions in life based on financial security, you know what I'm saying? Like, the direction I took in life, like, where I wanted to go, like, it was always based on financial security. And the funny thing is, like, I keep talking about being older and kind of having faith and trust in God and stuff now. Like, I'm at a different stage now. Like, I realize that no matter what, nothing in life is certain, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to put our trust and faith in God because, it don't matter what kind of money you make, man. I mean, life could be thrown upside down at any time, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not, there's more powerful than us, and I learned in life that no matter what, you can't control life, man. When you really, I reached a point where I had to just release, release all control. The need for control in my life, man. That's kind of when I felt like a burden lift off my shoulders, man. But it's still kind of hard because there's that part of me that still wants to have control and everything. But but I was, it's just that those hardships growing up when I was a kid, man. It always made me grind hard, want to grind hard and never be broke. You know what I'm saying? Never be like my mom or like we were growing up and stuff. So that's kind of where it all stemmed from, my childhood, really.
Yeah, so Rip, man, I hear you. You mentioned that financial security was always a big thing in your life, and you didn't have it, and it's crazy, man, because I could relate extremely to that, because I always felt like financial security, if I had it, I have everything I need in life, and right now I'm really at a point in my life, man, where I'm reflecting back and I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, I've always, maybe not the way I wanted it, but I always did have financial security. I had as much as I needed to be here today. In this year that we are in this current moment that we are in, man, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made it. Yeah. So Yep. I think when you mentioned control as well, that was one thing that I feel, I kind of had to let go, man. I didn't have control of every situation, but the things I did have control in, I wasn't conscious of, man, like my own reaction to things, me taking control of situations that were going to actually make me feel better and change my life around. And I think you've reached that too, man. And man, it's awesome to see that, man. So Rip, with all this going on, man, you went through, you had deaths in the family, man. You were at a job that you weren't happy with. You obviously came on top, man. You're doing good right now, man. What did you really learn from that experience, man?
Man, I learned that pain is temporary, but it's essential for growth, man. Man, it sucks. I've had a real rough year, to be honest, this year, man. I've had some ups and downs, with some emotional things and just growing in my spirituality. This is probably the most I've grown in my spirituality, my relationship with God ever, my whole life. This last year, I've faced addictions, and it made me realize though that like pain is essential for life. You know what I'm saying? Like I just read this book, man. If you're not growing, you're dying. You know what I'm saying? And to grow, what do you experience? Growing pains. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks that it sucks that you got to go through it, but you also got to be able to embrace that pain and be like, man, this is molding me into something that God wants and needs me to be, man. So there comes a point in life where, I know a lot of people that are like, man, I'm tired of this. I'm sick and tired I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But when I really realized that this pain and these things that God is putting me through is actually helping me grow and molding me to the person that He wants me to be, man, that's really when a light bulb went off in my head, and I was able to embrace it more and accept it. I just heard something the other day, man. You gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get complacent in life, and you gotta be able to understand that pain is a part of life and growth, and you gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable, man.
Definite fact, man. Definite fact. So, Rip, man, tell me right now, man. Like I said, we know where you are now. We know what you've been through. And you said you had a rough year. Tell me something that probably you're on a path right now, currently, that you've some kind of change you've made for your own personal development. Maybe something stressful going on, or some type of struggle that you're going through right now. And just kind of tell us what that is that you're changing, and the type of steps you're taking to make those changes.
Man, this year's been rough because it's been a year that I think it's been the year in my life where I actually had to take a look at myself, at the man in the mirror. You know what I mean? I think everybody reaches that point in life. I think this last year was the year that I actually had to do that. I've experienced a lot in life. I've learned a lot in life with every situation that I've been through, whether it be deaths, whether it be, breakups, heartbreak, and all this stuff. But like this last year was finally when I was like, man, something's got to give, man. I just faced, an addiction that I've had, a sexual addiction, that was honestly ripping and tearing at my soul. It was ruining my life, ruining my relationships. It was keeping me from being close to God. I was raised a Christian my whole life, man, but I didn't really, I wanted to do things my way my whole life. Like I wanted to make the music I wanted to make. I wanted to live the life I wanted to make. I wanted to go out and drink and party and have fun and do this and do that and, and not have to worry about, being judged or whatever. I'd be like, man, I got my whole life to get straight. You know what I'm saying? But this year's been rough because I really had to face that addiction, man, honestly. And almost a year, probably about a year ago to the day, man, like, I started going to Celebrate Recovery, which is a recovery. It's like a Christian or faith-based. It's a God-based AA. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 12-step program, but it's like faith-based. You know what I'm saying? They actually acknowledge God instead of just a higher power. And it's through my church. It was started by Rick Warren from Saddleback, or it started from Rick Warren's Saddleback Church out in California in the 90s, and it's probably one of the biggest addiction recovery programs. I met a lot of good people. It changed my life to this day. In fact, I got to meet. I'm going there tonight at 6:00. I go every Monday, man, and it's I met a lot of great men. I faced these demons that were ruining my life, and the thing is, like, people think people look at they look at when I sometimes when I say sex addiction, they just kind of look at me like, what you talking about? Say, oh, you just like to have sex a lot, you know what I'm saying? And some dudes would be like, man, that's macho, you know what I'm saying? That you're just a man, you're just a man. I mean, but it goes deeper than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have addiction in my whole family, like substance abuse and all that other stuff. And that stuff, that stuff is definitely bad, and I'm not trying to downplay it, man. But like, That's harmful on your body. It definitely is. But man, sex addiction though, especially in my belief and my faith, man, it tears at your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like it eats at your soul, man. It ain't just you ain't just degrading your body, man. You're degrading your soul, and your soul is eternal, man. Your body is just earthly. It's here temporarily. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, I just had to face that demon. You know what I'm saying? It was ruining my life. It ruined my relationship. It was one of the factors that ruined my relationship. I also had to deal with childhood, some childhood things that I didn't face. I had to repair my relationship with my mom. That's kind of always been awkward, which, we're on great terms now. But, and it was just also kind of, that whole mind frame that I had when I was a kid. Like, I had this mind frame when I was a child that, money would solve everything. I just had everything that I based my life on, like I said earlier, was about financial security. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of turning to like God or something like that, like it was always like, what kind of decision in my life can I make that will make me secure, make my future secure? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was money. Everything was like, and it was ruining me, man. It was just, and I got to a point in life where I literally, about a year ago, man, I hit my knees in my room and I cried, man. I just couldn't do it anymore. I literally said these words, like, I can't do this anymore. And like, I just surrendered to God, man. I reached the point where I was like, I was depleted, fam. I was on E. I was on empty. I could not do things the way I was going anymore, man. I needed God. And that was really a turning point in my life, man. About a year ago to the date, man. That's crazy that we're doing this, because it was like literally almost about a year ago to the day, man.
Wow. Rip, man, that's just intense to hear, man. I really I appreciate you sharing that in that sense. It's tripped out how you mentioned that people were telling you like, man, you're just a man. It's just a macho thing or whatever it may be. And quite honestly, man, I'm not really sure what having an addiction like that is like, but I could definitely relate with it being something that could be an issue that if you don't have control of, it could definitely rip away at your soul. When you mentioned that, I was like, wow, that's real. That's real. Yeah, man, I'm glad that you're overcoming that, man. And that's you're able to reach your spirituality and push away from that, man. That's a great thing. That's a great thing.
Yeah, man, I couldn't do it without God, man. It's all God. You know what I mean? Like, all glory and all sorts of props and everything to him, man, because I couldn't do it on my own, man. Like I said, I tried doing 34 years of my life on my own, and it wasn't happening, man. It was not going the way I wanted. It wasn't going the way God wanted, and I couldn't keep going on like that anymore. I couldn't.
I hear you, man. Rip, man, we're doing great right now, man. I'm loving this interview. We're going to take a real short break. We're going to plug in some of the people that support the show, and then we're going to bounce right back into these final questions.
What up?
Cool, Rip. So before I get into the rest of the interview, man, just wanted to check in with you and make sure everything is well with you, bro.
Yeah, man, we cool, man. Everything's good, man.
Excellent, man. Man, this is going great, bro. I appreciate you, man. This is going great.
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Cool. So then I'm just going to announce the second set of questions, and then we'll bounce right into it, bro.
Okay.
What's good, my people? So I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but video has 135% greater organic reach over audio, photos, or other type of media posts. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, a podcaster, an artist, or anyone else trying to get an audio message across, the best way to do this is to combine it with video and photo. And you could do this at wave.video. That's WAVVE.video. Just go to their website. You could get a free account. And if you need any support, contact them. I've personally been able to work with Baird Hall. He's the founder. He's an awesome guy. He helped me set up everything for Money Mantra. So please go to wave.video. That's WAVVE.video.
All right, my people, we are right back here on the Money Mantra. This is your host, Caesar, Visuals Amudio, and I'm here with artist, DJ, filmmaker, actor, producer, Rip. So, Rip, let's get into these last final questions, man. First question is, what is your biggest challenge when dealing with money?
My biggest challenge with dealing with money is I can't get enough, man. Nah, man. I mean, that is kind of true in a way, man. But I mean, I realized that, man, that unsatisfaction, man. I mean, I came to the point and I realized that like nobody will ever be satisfied in life, man. Like, say you move, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you make $1 million, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do with that $1 million? You move into a neighborhood and you buy a $500,000 home, you know what I'm saying? Well, what happens? You got your neighbor up the block, they got a $1 million home, you know what I'm saying? You make a couple $1 million, you buy $1 million home, you move into the neighborhood, your neighbor's got a $4 million home, you know what I'm saying? There's always somebody out there that's better, there's always somebody who's got more, there's always somebody, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I reached the point in life, man, like, another thing that I used to do, man, I had this huge, like, man, like weight on my shoulder my whole life. Like, why am I never satisfied? Why am I never satisfied? I always wanted to be better. I always wanted to be the best. I always wanted to have more money. I always wanted to have, you know what I'm saying, the hottest girl. I always wanted to have this, the best, you know, car, you know, the best. Man, I always had everybody's approval. And it was just, no matter what, man, it was never enough. And that's kind of like goes back to my sexual addiction. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted more and more and more. But I realized that honestly, man, you'll never have enough, man. But man, I just went on a tirade. I remember these were supposed to be some shorter questions. I got caught up in the whole.
Hey, brother, you expressing yourself, man. I appreciate that. No worries, brother. Listen, we'll keep it moving, though, man. How about personal mindset, man? Like, what do you think gives you problems with your personal mindset?
Man, probably, man, the enemy, man, the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time, you know, I feel like every time, especially working on this new project, this new album, you know, that's like glorifying God and everything. Like, every time I feel like I'm making progress, it's like he wants to stop me because he doesn't want me to reach that next level. You know what I'm saying? Man, I kind of forgot the question, man. I feel like I didn't answer it.
Nah, it was all good, man. I think you hit it on the nose, man. It was just about your personal mindset. Like, what gives you problems with your personal mindset? So, yeah, man, I think that's a great answer, man. Devil
my
gets in the way.
Yeah, no, my personal mindset is, like, limiting beliefs, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, man, it's all about removing that limiting belief, man. I truly believe that, you know what I'm saying? You have to have a positive mind frame. Like, I know so many people in my life that have, you know, a limiting belief, like, oh, I can't do that, or, you know what I'm saying, like, the minute you remove that, man, and not everybody has that same mind frame that I have, but once you remove that, though, man, that removes a lot of limits, man.
I agree, man. I think a positive mental attitude is major in happiness, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So, Rip, tell me your biggest strength when it comes to dealing with money.
Man, my biggest strength, to be honest, is, man, it's funny you asked, dude. My biggest strength is being able to save my money, but not necessarily even like save. It's not like I have tons of savings, but be responsible with it, man. Like, you know, simple things though, like, you know, not spending more money than you're taking in, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, even just the simplest thing, like, man, I used to look up to Susie Orman a lot. I don't know if you know who Susie Orman is, but, you know, she's, man, she's got that show on MSNBC, and she's like this big money guru, and you know, she knows what she's talking about. And just like little tips from her, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be spending more than a quarter or a third of your take-home income on, like, housing. Just things like that, though. It's funny, though, man, because my brother actually makes a lot of money, dude, and this dude is irresponsible with his money. And funny thing is, he just asked me today if he can use my credit card so he could charge you know, something on a trip for this trip that he's going on, you know what I'm saying, with his girl. And he makes, fam, I mean, I'm not going to tell figures, but he's in the six figures, man. He makes 6 figures a year, you know what I'm saying? Like, he makes more than 3 times the money than I do, but I have more money than he does in savings. I got a better credit score, I have more credit cards, and I'm more responsible with my money, you know what I'm saying? It's all a mind frame, dude. It ain't about how much money you make, man. It's a mind frame, and if you ain't got your mind right, man, you ain't gonna get your money right, man.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So money management, that's a key right there, man. I'm glad you're able to do that, man. That's what I'm.
Key, man.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm getting at right now, man. I've always had my money issues, but I'm working on my management, man. You know, you mentioned, you know, like saving a certain percentage that Susie Orman mentioned, and you know, I'm currently in the middle of reading Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. If you're not, I think you would love that book. But in that book, he mentions a certain 60 30-10 rule, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And it's basically like 60% of your income goes straight to expenses that you know you need to have, bills and such. 30% you either save or invest, and 10% goes to whatever you want, things that are not really important, going out, hanging out, having dinner, being entertained, and things of that nature. And I think those are great numbers right there, man.
And I've heard something similar like that too. I don't know the exact numbers, but I heard something similar to that too. And I kind of try to keep, things along those lines as well, as far as where I'm at and everything. My main thing is, I live within my means.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And my biggest thing is just making sure that my housing ain't more than a quarter to a third of my take-home income. Because I know there's a lot of people out there they like to stunt, and man, they're spending like 60% alone just under rent.
Yeah.
Because they got to have a nice house and feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, man.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. You end up burying yourself. Yes, sir. So, Rip, man, how about, man, tell me what's the greatest thing you're looking forward to every day in your life?
At this point in my life, the greatest thing that I'm looking forward to is glorifying God with my music, man. I don't think there's anything more fulfilling. There's two things that are fulfilling in life to me. Two things, and these are what I strive for most in life. Honoring and glorifying God with with how I'm living, whether it's through my music or how I treat people, and I'm still working on that. I'm a work in progress. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm not perfect because I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian because I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need God and I need His ways, but man, I forgot where I was going. What? Remind me more time what that question is. You can edit that up.
No problem, man. I said, what is the greatest thing you're looking forward to every day in your life?
Yeah. So the two greatest things I strive for in life are honoring and glorifying God with everything that I do, and looking for love. A lot of people will disagree with me, but probably more people will agree with me that I think the greatest thing in life you can ever achieve more than anything is love. Man, you're a family man. You got a wonderful wife. You got like 2 sets of twins, right?
Yes, sir.
This man, he hit lightning. The bottle, he got struck with lightning twice, man. That's lightning in the bottle, man. He had 2 sets of twins, man. Is it 4 girls?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a true blessing, man. True blessing.
And I'm sure those are your most prized possessions and the loves of your life, man. They mean more to you more than anything, more than money or anything.
Yes, sir.
And that's something I'm striving for right now, man. I truly believe love is the number one thing you can achieve in life. Man, more than anything, more than money, material possessions. So I'm just working on myself, fam. I'm working on myself to become the best version of myself, to make sure I got all my, childhood issues under control, all my addictions under control, so I can find that person that I can love that's going to love me, and we can have, and we can also honor and glorify God with our marriage and relationship. You know what I'm saying? So those are the 2 things that I look forward to every single day. That's what I get up for, and that's what I strive for every single day.
Excellent, man. That's what I'm talking about. So we just got a few more questions here, man. If we could just keep it as short as we can so we could wrap up, man. Just give me a daily routine or a habit that keeps you focused on all of your goals.
Praying, fam.
Praying. Yes, sir.
Man, that's it. I mean, I talk to God. I pray and talk to God, man, probably 10, 20 times a day, man. Like, even if it's just like saying something, man, that's it, man. Praying.
Love it. How about an app, software, service, or any other type of resource that helps you on your business or personal life?
Man, the service that I use is FreshBooks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that's what I do all my invoicing and stuff like that on is FreshBooks.
FreshBooks. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Not familiar with it.
Yeah, they're mainly for like they're good. I mean, you could kind of do accounting with it, but it's more or less it's good for like invoicing and keeping track of who's paid you and who hasn't and stuff like that.
Dig it. How about a book or a film, man? Something that you've read or that you're into, man, and tell us why.
Man, I mean, if you got a little bit of extra little time, I got a ton of books. I'll be honest with you, fam.
Give us two.
Man, look, all right, I don't watch film. I don't watch movies. I'm a filmmaker, and I would love to make my own movie one day, but I'm at that point in my life where I don't even got a DVD player, fam. I left that PS3 with my ex-girlfriend. You know
yes, sir.
Like,
yes, sir.
I don't even watch movies. I don't got time for movies. 2 top books. Oh man. Man, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. Huge, man. That's like the man's Bible right there. And then the second one will have to be tied with either How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne or The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren.
Right, all right.
So they're all self-help books, man. Deep, real deep books. And Rick Warren actually helped me find my purpose in life. Remember, I told you earlier in the podcast how I was never satisfied with anything. That book answered that question. That question I've been longing for 34 years of my life, and that was because, in my belief, we are built for eternity. We're not built for earth. So we're here temporarily. That's why we're always longing for something else. We're longing for God. We're longing for eternity. And that book answered that. So that probably book changed my life. I'll probably have to go with that one. The other book, How to Be a 3% Man, that's more about how to show up in a relationship and how to be a male I don't like the word alpha male because, that's not what I'm trying to go. I mean, it's just how to show up as a male, how to be a strong-centered male, and how to show up in relationships as such.
Gotcha, man. Yeah. Sounds great, man. I have to look that one up, man. So,
great reads.
Rip, man. You touched on it earlier, man. You've been poor since a child. You've been through the struggle. You've been there, and I know this is something that definitely hit your mind as a child. Man, tell me, what would you do, or what have you maybe done with your first $1 million?
All right, I definitely haven't made my first $1 million yet. So I'll tell you what I would do with it, though. I think I would do what most people would do, and that would be to buy some properties, invest in real estate. My childhood dream was always to buy my mom a new house, or to pay hers off or whatever, and then buy myself a property for my wife or my future wife. I think those would be the two biggest investments anyone can ever make. Most people, if property really doesn't depreciate or it doesn't depreciate in value as much as many other things. So that's probably one of the soundest investments you can make. And that's probably one of the biggest achievements you can ever. I don't know of anything greater than owning your own home. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something I'll do is buy a couple properties with my first $1 million.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that, man. Definitely. Yeah. All right, Rip. So we're wrapping up right here, man. Just give us some final personal advice and definitely let everybody know where they could contact you.
Final personal advice, man. Like I said earlier, keep God first. That's my opinion. And keep your trust and faith in God, man. And man, life's crazy, man. You're going to get hit. You're going to get knocked upside the head no matter how much you think you got it together or how much you think you got things under control. Life's going to throw you curveballs, man, and you got to stay strong. You got to stay centered. I always try to push people to be the best version of themselves that they can be. That's why I'm so big into self-help books and just growing myself personally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And I think the best thing people could do with their lives is to strive to be the best version of themselves that they can be. Don't get complacent in life, man. Because honestly, that's things. You'll be able to handle things a lot better if you're all striving and growing to be the best version of yourself, man. That's just the way to go, man. Love that, man. So where could the people find you? Man, people can find me. My website is whoisrip.com. That's whoisrip.com. I got links on all my social media. You can find me on Twitter at whoisrip. I'm on Instagram at whoisrip. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/ripmusic. And you can see all my music videos at youtube.com/riprecords. But if there's one place you need to go to get all of them links, it's my main website, whoisrip.com. Yes, sir. All right, Rip. So, man, as always, thank you very much for your time, and definitely to you and to the listeners, peace, blessings, hundreds of lessons. This is your host, Caesar Visuals Amudio, and this was the Money Mantra.